Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, we are going to be covering, as you've gathered by these screen grabs, by the thumbnail and the title, Sati, played by Priyanka Chopra. She plays the role of Sati in Matrix Resurrections, which, as you can tell, I just recently watched it. Watching something once is already cosplaying a character. Obviously my outfit, is just a tad in reverse pattern from what hers is. I had more of an overcover type of blouse that matches pretty close to hers, but a black skivvy underneath. And I did what I could, so we're covering hair, makeup, somewhat of outfits, and that'll be that. So here's a few screen recording grabs of Matrix Resurrections. There's a couple of scenes so just to get the idea of what and how we'll be covering. Obviously I cannot copy the CGI that they did. Anyway, so getting started at the start of this video. So this is all my reference photos that I will be following along. Starting off with a wide comb, some twine or something, maybe some double single extensions if you have any. That's just the rest of the twine. So coming back to the comb, combing my hair out, parting down the middle. We're about as close to the middle as I can get. So I had tried this on my own hair, and boy did it take like several different methods. This one that I'm sharing with you in this video worked out the absolute best. So once you've got a middle part, draw a fingernail down the back of your head and sort of scooch every other part of the hair out of the way, just to really emphasize the parting at the back of your head. And once you have done that, you're then going to draw it from a middle point, occipital bone area, and down towards your ear. So I've left these clips in real time. I haven't sped anything up, but I have taken the most important clips as a clip in itself, hence some of these jump cuts. So I might take a couple of resectioning with your finger, and whether or not you still choose to use a comb. I just personally chose to use a comb for my middle part, but otherwise everything else I clearly done with my fingernail. Sectioning away that top section, brushing out the bottom section, because Priyanka / Sati's hair was very neat, there was no messy texture. Taking an elastic and tying off that little mini ponytail at the nape of your neck. So I did about 3 loops, then I just tugged gently so that the ponytail sat a bit closer to my root. Then dropping the top half, sorry for the green screen getting exposed. Then separating the hair in half, taking your extension left, if you have one, your single piece one, clipping it in the direction of your uppermost chunk of hair. Then you're going to grab all 3 top half, extension and lower half of the top half of what will be the top half ponytail. So we're doing double ponytail. I just added the extension left because it helps give even more length, and for the top half of the hairstyle reaching down to the bottom half, a lot of length is definitely required. You could do this same method without the extension, but you wouldn't have nearly as much length or freedom to work with. Of course, depending on how short your hair is, not to mention how thin your hair might be, or even how thick. So once everything is smoothened out with your brush, because Sati had absolutely no messy texture of anything, her hair was very neat and almost dancer hair worthy. So of course, tying your hair off into a top half ponytail. And once again, very gently tugging at the root just to tighten it up and bring the ponytail closer to the root. Then taking your twine piece, or better yet if you do have a sparkly golden piece of string around, wrapping around the base of it and then crossing at the bottom, just so it secures around the hair tie a bit better. And then you're going to start braiding down So third strand is obviously your hair, and first two makeshift strands are the whatever piece of material you're choosing to use. Also, you can find this twine-like material, probably I believe Americans or Canadians call it Home Depot, something like that. We call it Bunnings. But you could grab any odd string, ribbon, anything that is accessory and has endless amount of length, or even material like stores. Wherever you can get your hands on material like this, or something that's a little bit more appropriate to be in hair, whatever you have, whatever you can get your hands on, it isn't too expensive, put it to good use. So as like I said, we're braiding it down, and as soon as you finish braiding, you're going to pinch the bottom with your fingers to hold it still, but then you're going to pancake each part of your hair that you see in between the crossings of whatever chosen material you've used. So as we pancake it, we're giving it far more volume, so that when we wrap around and bring the tail end of what this will be to the bottom half of our ponytail, we have a lot of volume, because Sati / Priyanka's hair had a lot of volume, especially on the side, plus her hair is much thicker than mine. Now wrapping around at the top, creating a little space bun, wrapping around twice if need be. It should stay there by itself, but if you feel like your hair is flopping down too much, feel free to pin it in place just quickly. Then you're going to bring it with your bottom ponytail, wrapping around once or twice just to get a good hook. And then bringing it in so that it intertwines with itself. So two tails twining around each other, and then you're going to take those two and then wrap it around on itself, creating a bottom half space bun. So just tucking the tail, what's left of the tail, underneath the bun a bit, pinning in place however many times you need to. And now you have top space bun, a bit of a rope braid chain going down, and a bottom space bun. So now we will repeat absolutely everything on the other side. Little did I know, my parting was not even, but not too many people were going to be looking at the back of my head close to the midnight hour when I filmed this. So making your sections as neat as you can, and preferably as even as you can, it's not the end of the world if your part lines are uneven. Putting the top section up and out of the way just for a moment. Same thing with the bottom half of your hair. Combing to smoothen, and then securing off with elastic about 3 loops if your hair is the same density as mine. Fine yet thickish. Then loosening the top half, separating that off. Uppermost chunk is set aside. Grabbing your second weft if you have one. You're then going to add the weft in the direction of the uppermost chunk of hair, and then combining all 3 into the palm of your hand. Then re-smoothing over with a brush, because there are no kinks in her hairstyle. You know, so her hair is definitely very appropriate for young girls. So about 2 or 3 loops, depending how thick your own hair is, depending how thick your weft is. Then grabbing your secondary cut piece of material, wrapping around taut and then closing underneath to secure it around the hair tie, around the base of the ponytail, and then braiding the rest of the way down, remembering that your own hair is the third strand, the material pieces are the second and first strand. Now if I would make a little slight recommendation for futuristic cosplayers and styling wise, to definitely braid these pieces a little bit closer, but we live and we learn, and their hairstyle came out really good. So we are once again pancaking out the edges, just to help give this some more volume, because the tail of it will shorten up as we wrap the uppermost style around on itself. You lose a bit of length, so wrapping around once or twice, and if you're anything like me, you might get stuck with short little bits sticking out. So then continuing it on with the bottom ponytail, wrapping around once or twice around the base, and then intertwining the actual tail of itself together. Two tails become one, and then wrapping on itself, creating a bottom half space bun. So in real time, this all took me around about 20 or so minutes, hairstyle wise. As you can see, uneven parting, not the end of the world. Coming onto the face now, taking my Maybelline Fit Me Classic Ivory, pouring a blob onto my hand, using my XA Beauty flat face brush onto the main points of my face, cheeks, nose, forehead, and just around my jawline and chin area. Of course, you use whichever foundation you have, and whichever foundation brush you have. I'm then going in with my Mako Beauty Invisible Matte Press Powder to obviously set my face, using my XA Beauty powder brush, then taking a very small pencil brush from Color Cosmetics, taking a very dark black and darkest brown shade in my peach palettes from Too Faced, adding a very light amount to my brows because Sati/Priyanka has fairly light brows versus her actual hair. So focusing the majority of the product onto my tail brow, then whatever remains on the front part of my brow, and then taking a lighter brown shade along with the darkest brown shade, using a fluffy duo-ended brush from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and using this to add some browns onto my eyelid as well as my upper crease. Taking a light pale shade onto my brow bone, and I don't add any shadows on my bottom lash line. Taking this semi-waterproof mascara, I believe from Sensationals or something like that, it used to be my mother's, creating my top lashes. And I do add whatever product remains onto my lower lashes, just 2 wiggles onto my lashes. And then taking a brown shade from my ABH Lip Pro palette, using the brush it comes with to add this subtle brown shade to my lips, because Sati/Priyanka had a brown shade on her lips, which also complemented the natural pigmentation in her lips. And yes, be surprised, I am overdrawing. After all, we are cosplaying, so I am matching up my top lip shape to about as close to Sati/Priyanka's, which she has a very full top and bottom lip. Taking now a bronzer, I believe it's from CoverGirl, maybe? Using my powder brush again just to add this to my cheekbones and forehead, as well as my jawline. Then adding the same black and adding a bit more of like a cat liner but only on my tear duct. Really starting the image and looked like she had like a little bit of extra shadow right in the corner of her eye. So this completes the whole look. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I shall see you all with my future videos. Bye!